Is there a breed of dog more gorgeous than the Husky? I don't think so. But Huskies are not for everyone. I repeat, Huskies are not for everyone. But if you know them, you probably love them. Hi there. Thank you for visiting Biscuit and Friends. This video is all about those floofy, goofy, noisy, silly, absolutely gorgeous Huskies that you know and love. Get ready to learn the good, the bad, and yes, even the ugly about this beautiful breed. Be sure to subscribe to Biscuit and Friends for more videos like this. Now, let's get started. Fact 1. Here's an easy one to start off. Siberian Huskies are originally from, ready? Siberia. Siberia is part of Northeast Asia and Russia, where the climate is extremely cold and the land is covered in snow most of the time. Huskies were bred to be sled dogs, and clearly they are pretty good at their job since they're still commonly used in that role today. Originally, Huskies were used by a tribe of hunter-gatherers in Siberia called the Chukchi to help them cover larger areas of land than they could on their own. Huskies made their way to the United States, Alaska to be exact, in the early 1900s. A Russian fur trader named William Gusak brought a team of Huskies from Siberia and entered them in the 1908 All-Alaska Sweepstakes race. The race covered 408 miles and came with a huge prize of $10,000, which is somewhere around $300,000 in today's money. At first, the Alaskans were unimpressed. The Siberian Huskies were much smaller, at around 50 pounds, than the native Alaskan Malamutes, who weighed in around 80. This earned the Huskies the rather unfriendly nickname Siberian Rats. But Gusak's team ultimately finished in third place despite 100-to-1 odds in the betting circles. Some people suspect that the team was paid to throw the race since a first-place finish with those odds would have caused a banking disaster. Since then, Siberian Huskies have won top honors in many dog sled races, including the world-famous Iditarod. And you'll rarely hear them referred to as Siberian Rats anymore. To learn more about the All-Alaskan Sweepstakes, check out the link in the video description below. Fact 2. All Husky puppies are born with blue eyes. They will stay this way until the puppies are a month or two old. Then they may begin to become darker. They may stay blue, or may even become one of each. Sometimes it can take as long as 6 months for a Husky puppy's eye color to become permanent. So while it's no guarantee, if you're hoping for a blue-eyed dog, a Husky is your best bet. Around 40% of Huskies have 2 blue eyes, the most of any dog breed. In case you're wondering, another 40% of Huskies have brown eyes. 10% are bi-eyed, meaning each eye is a different color. 5% have green eyes, and the last 5% have what is called party-colored eyes. This means one eye can be more than one color, for example, brown with specks of blue. There are 2 important things to note about Husky's eyes. First, you cannot influence the eye color of your Husky with vitamins, medicines, food additives, or any other products you find that claim to have an effect. It is 100% genetic. And the second thing is that Huskies have a 10% chance of developing genetic cataracts, regardless of eye color. If you're a Husky owner, be sure to have regular vet visits and report any changes to your dog's eyes right away. Fact 3. Huskies are built for cold. This may come as no surprise to you, since you can tell just by looking at them that Huskies are cold weather dogs. But their performance in cold temperatures is due to more than all that floof. First, the Husky's coat is double layered. Their undercoat is short and keeps them warm, while their top coat, also known as their guard hair coat, is longer and helps keep ice and snow from reaching the warm, dry undercoat. Next, when a Husky curls up to sleep in the cold snow, its floofy, fox-like tail provides warmth for the sensitive nose and eye area. Another cold weather advantage is that their eyes are almond-shaped. This allows the dog to squint so that very little eye tissue is exposed, which prevents damage from flying ice or snow without obscuring their vision. All of these features, plus fluffy built-in earmuffs and furry leather-like foot pads, allow Huskies to comfortably spend long hours outside on even the coldest days. and anyone who has a husky will likely tell you they have had a hard time getting her to come inside after the first good snow of the year. It's now time for Trivia Timeout. In 1925, cases of severe diphtheria struck many of the children of Nome, Alaska. The serum that could have saved them was 1,000 miles away, and only about 300 miles of that was covered by train. A husky team brought the medicine the remaining distance, hundreds of miles, and saved the day. The lead dog was a black husky who was considered a hero. What was his name? Comment your answer in the chat and stay tuned to see if you were right. Fact 4. The color of a husky's nose corresponds to the color of its coat. Huskies with gray, tan, or black coats will typically have a black nose. If their coat is copper or reddish brown, they will have a liver-colored nose, which is a pinkish brown color. And if the coat is white, the nose color can be either black or brown. But what about those cute bubblegum pink husky noses, you might be wondering? Well, that brings us to fact number 5. Huskies can get a condition called snow nose. Snow nose, or winter nose, is when a dog's nose turns pink, usually in the colder winter months. It may turn completely pink, or there might just be a pink stripe down the center. In general, the pigment returns to normal as the weather warms, but as a dog ages, the pink may remain more visible year-round. Snow nose is caused by an enzyme known as tyrosinase and is completely normal and generally of no concern, as long as there is no bleeding, scabbing, or rough texture along with it. As always, if you're concerned, check with your vet. Fact number 6. Huskies are more closely related to wolves than most dogs are. DNA analysis shows that huskies are related to the North Asian tamer wolf, which is now extinct. The tamer wolf lived over 35,000 years ago. Genetic material from a wolf bone found in the Taimyr Peninsula in Siberia revealed that dogs and wolves likely split from this common ancestor at least 27,000 years ago. Fact 7. Huskies have magic metabolisms. Think about a marathon runner. They have to continually supply their blood with glucose to be able to continue for that distance without collapsing. And after completing a marathon, even the fittest athletes must take days to rest and recover. But a husky can run 100 miles in a day and remain seemingly fatigue-proof, continuing this pace day after day. Researchers think huskies have an innate ability to change their metabolism during periods of strenuous exercise, such as a sled race. Consider this: the average racing husky only weighs about 50 pounds and burns at least 10,000 calories a day over 100 miles. Elite athletes, on the other hand, such as Tour de France cyclists, weigh roughly 3 times as much, but only burn 6,000 calories on an average 100-mile race day. So how does a husky's magic metabolism work? Scientists don't yet fully understand it, but are continuing to investigate. Check out the link in the video description below for more information. Fact 8. Huskies shed like crazy. Remember that double coat we talked about earlier that helps keep huskies warm? Well, when the summer comes around, the undercoat sheds. And sheds. And sheds. A lot. It's important to regularly brush your husky with a special undercoat de-shedding tool. Frequent brushing may help to minimize the mess, but rest assured, if you own a husky, you also own furniture and clothing that is covered in dog hair. Trivia time out! It's now time to answer today's trivia question. Who was the husky that led the team of dogs that brought diphtheria medicine to the children of Nome, Alaska in 1925? The answer is Balto. Many of you may be familiar with Balto because of the animated movie named after him that came out in 1995. Great job if you got that one right. Fact 9. Huskies grew in popularity because of Game of Thrones. In the popular TV series, several of the main characters have pet dire wolves, large, loyal, and fierce wolves for protection and companionship. In real life, dire wolves have been extinct for thousands of years, but in the show, they were played by a combination of Arctic wolves, Siberian Huskies, Samoyeds, and Malamutes. The popularity of the show and its dire wolves like Summer and Ghost led to a buying frenzy of similar-looking dogs, mainly Huskies. But many of those people weren't prepared for the demands of pet ownership. This has led to increases in the numbers of abandoned Huskies, similar to what happened to Dalmatians after the movie 101 Dalmatians was released. If you're researching a potential addition to your family and a Husky seems like the right fit, don't forget to check rescue groups in your area first. There are plenty of wonderful Huskies out there who need a forever home like yours. Fact 10. Huskies don't bark much, but they make a lot of noise. If you've spent any time watching funny dog videos, you've heard the Husky howl. Huskies love to make noise, and sometimes they do it in dramatic fashion. Huskies inherited their howling from their wolf ancestors. The sound can travel up to 10 miles and was used to communicate over long distances. This was a huge benefit before GPS and other modern communication. If a person was injured or lost, rescuers could follow the howls to find them. Huskies still use their voices to communicate, often loudly, for just about anything. They're happy, they're hungry, they're in pain, they're sensing danger, they're anxious or stressed, or maybe they just want some attention. If you feel like your Husky is howling excessively, he may need more physical or mental stimulation. Bored Huskies can often become noisy and destructive. Huskies do best with at least 2 hours of exercise a day. This can be hard for some pet owners, so please keep it in mind when choosing a pet. That completes our top 10 facts about the beloved Husky. Be sure to subscribe to Biscuit and Friends for more great videos about our wonderful furry friends.